Hi, welcome to our session 3. In this session, we're going to talk about business processes in operation management. We will cover overview of business processes and its mapping priorities. Also, we will looking into measuring and improving business processes. And some of the very important tools we're going to cover are called continuous improvement. So the first thing we need to cover is what is process or what's the meaning of a process. It's basically a set of logical related tasks or activities performed to achieve a defined business outcome. We do have different processes like primary processes, supporting processes, and development processes. Primary process is a process that addresses the main value added activities of an organization. Support process is process that performs necessarily, even if not a value added activities. And development process is a process to seek to improve the performance of the primary and support processes. You can see in the big picture also we have different for primary processes where they are, support processes, what are they, and also development processes as well. It's very important to visualize those processes, or we call it mapping. It's graphical representation of organizational relationships and activities that make up the businesses. So the purpose of mapping is create a common understanding of the content of the process, like the activities, result, and who performs at the various stage, define the boundaries of the process, and also provide baseline against which to measure the impact of improvement effort. So basically, a process map is a detailed map to identify some specific activities that make up the informational or physical, monetary flow of the process. You can see in this picture, for example, is a process of human resource management. So new position required, required a new person, yes or no. So you can see we actually try to put some lines and how the process goes through is the answer yes or no, some decision making, and if it goes yes, what are the consequences? If it goes no, what are the steps that we need to do to complete this process? And it goes on and on till end. That, for example, in HR management, they try to hire a new person at the end. And it's very important that we try to identify what type of process it is. If it's none of this type of process that we're going to talk about in this couple of slides, then we need to identify, all right, this process necessary to have? So one of the main process is identity process, which is defined organization for itself, its customers, its investors. Identity process differentiate the organization from the competitors and also are at the heart of its success. Another important process is the priority processes that technically they are the engine room of organizational success. They strongly influence how well the identity process are carried out and how the firm stand relative to competitors. Now, the next one is background processes, which are necessary to support daily operations. Many administration and overhead function are considered as background processes. And the last one is mandated processes to carry out only because the organization is legally required to do those processes. So these were the four main processes that we need to know. So this is how it works. So first we see if the process is identity. If it's yes, then that's fine. If it's no, next question. Is it a priority process? If it's yes, that's fine. If it's no, we go to next. Is it a background or is it mandated? If it's none of these, we really need to looking into, all right, is this process necessary or do we need to keep this process or we need to abandon this, right? So it's very important that we identify what type of process we are dealing with. Let's have a look at an example, right? So this is a warehouse, for example. There's a process as activities going on. For example, dealers submit an order to a distribution center, which is automatically printed on the copier. One out of 25 orders are lost because the copier jams or something. Printer order sits in an inbox for around 2 hours between 0 to 4 until internal mail picks to pick it up. Internal mail takes about 1 hour on average to deliver the order to the picking area. 1 out of 100 get wrong place. Order sits in the clicks inbox until it is processed around 2 hours, 0 to 2 hours, average 1 hour. Processing time takes 5 minutes. If item is in stock, worker pick it up, average around 10 to 24 minutes. Inspector takes 2 minutes to check. Still, 1 out of 200 orders are completely incorrect. Transportation from delivery around 2 hours in average. And if item is out of stock, the clerk notify the dealer and pass the order along to the plan file, arranging the special shipments and everything. Now we can actually develop a process map for it to make things much more easier. Definitely visualization help us to see things much more clear and also easier to identify issues. So you can see we put it into a map, and by doing that we can identify those issues around this process. By doing the process map, we can identify issues and we can look into as an operation management manager, for example, how we can solve this or what is our opinion about it. For example, here, average time between ordering and delivering for a stock is about 6.5 hours, can be as long as 11.5 hours. If an item is not in stock, it can even take longer. Around 6.5 hours an order spent on average in process, and a full 3 hours is a waiting time. 5% of the orders are lost before they even get to the picking area. For the orders to do survive to this point, 1 out of 200 will be shipped with the incorrect item or quantity. So, as an operation manager, is this correct? Or how we can improve this. So you can see by visualizing the process, we manage to identify these issues that we can solve. Also, you can see in this picture as well, we need to put some swim lane process map in place where technically the user can see who is responsible for each of those steps. So for example, in a hiring process example, we have the swim line between candidate and firm, and then from the firm we have recruiter, we have interviewer, so you can see everybody's responsibility within these processes. Now, we want to focus on measuring and improving business process. There are some measure in place, but first, before we get into the measure, we need to be able to map the process. Now, when we come to the measures, we're looking into quality, cost, time, and flexibility. There is a measure for performance as well, where productivity equals to output divided by input. We can measure it like partial productivity, or we can have multi-factor productivities, and also at the end we can looking into total productivity where the goods or service produced divided by all the inputs. Let's have a look at this example. We do have, for example, 5,000 units produced. The standard price is $30 per unit. Labor input is 500 hours. Cost of labor is $25 per hour. Cost of material is 5,000, and also cost of overheads 2 times labor cost. We want to looking into what is the labor productivity and what is multi-factor productivity here. By using the formulas, for example, we're looking into labor productivity is 10 units per labor hours. By looking into multi-factor productivity, we reach to 3.53 almost. Every single dollar spent, this company can earn $3.53. That's not a bad result. Now we covered the productivity. Another measurement is efficiency. Basically, it's a ratio of actual output to standard output, usually expressed in percentage, right? So that's our efficiency. And some of you might ask, so that was production, but productivity in the service sector is different. So it's much more difficult to measure and manage it because it involves intellectual activities and also has high degree of variability as well. So a useful measure related to productivity is a process yield. Where products are involved, we get, for example, ratio of output of goods or products to quantity of the raw material input. Where the services are involved, process yield management is often depends on some of the process. For example, ratio of car rented to cars available for a given day, or ratio of students acceptance into total number of students approved for admission. Benchmarking is a process of comparing an organization product, services, or processes against best practices from other organizations in the same or similar industry. The goal of benchmarking is to identify areas for improvement and to establish performance targets that will enable the organization to achieve best in class performance. There are different types of benchmarking, including process benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization's processes to those of other organizations that are recognized as best in class in that area. This can help identify opportunities to improve efficiency, reduce waste, and improve quality. The second one is a strategy benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization's strategic goals and objectives to those of other organizations in the same industry. This can help identify opportunities to improve the organization's competitive position, market share, and profitability. And last one is performance benchmarking. This type of benchmarking involves comparing the organization performance against other organizations in the same industry using key performance indicators KPIs such as revenue growth, profitability, customer satisfaction, and employee productivity. This can help identify areas where the organization is underperforming and provide a basis for setting performance targets that will enable the organization to improve its competitive positions. Now we want to move into continuous improvement tools and how we can continuously improve our processes. Continuous improvement is a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating waste and improving processes in an organization. It's a fundamental principle of lean manufacturing and also known as Kaizen. Continuous improvement involves constantly seeking ways to improve the organization products, services, and processes to achieve better quality, increase efficiency, and reduce costs. There are some key components in continuous improvement, such as identifying areas to improve. This involves reviewing the organization processes, products, and services to identify areas where improvement can be made. The second one is analyzing the root cause of problem. This involving using tools such as cause and effect diagram, Pareto charts, and process flow diagram to identify the underlying cause of problem. Developing solution, this involves using the structured problem-solving approach such as Plan, Do, Check, Act PDCA cycle to develop and implement solution to address the root cause of a problem. Implementing and monitoring changes. This involves implementing the solution developed and monitoring the result to ensure that the desired improvement have been achieved. Standardizing processes is the last one. This involves documenting and standardizing processes to ensure that improvements are sustained over time and that best practices are shared throughout the organization. So, continuous improvement is an ongoing process that requires commitment, collaborations, and a culture of continuous learning and improvement. It's enable organization to achieve greater efficiency, productivity, and quality, and do better meet the need of the customers. Another Japanese word kaizen. Kai means change and zen means good. So is the Japanese term that means continuous improvement. It's a philosophy and methodology that focus on making incremental improvement to processes, product and services on ongoing basis. Kaizen is a key component of lean manufacturing as used to drive continuous improvement in organization. So the key Principle of Kaizen is continuous improvement, as we mentioned. Customer focus Kaizen emphasizes the importance of understanding and meeting the need of customer in order to create value and build customer loyalty. Employee empowerment Kaizen encourage the involvement of employee in improving process and providing them with the tools and supports they need to identify and implement improvement. Waste reduction. Kaizen focus on identifying and eliminating waste in all aspects of an organization processes, including defect, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory motion, and excess processing. And standardization, Kaizen emphasize the importance of standardizing processes to ensure consistency, quality, and efficiency. Kaizen is implemented through a structured problem-solving approach that involve identifying problem, analyzing root cause, developing solutions, implementing changes, and monitoring result. It is an ongoing process that requires commitment, collaboration, and culture of continuous learning and improvement. Poka-yoke is a Japanese term that means mistake proofing or error proofing. It is a technique used in lean manufacture to prevent errors from occurring in the production process. Poka-yoke devices are designed to prevent or detect errors before they can cause defect or other problem. So there are three main type of Poka-yoke devices that we have. The first one is contact method. These devices use physical contact to prevent error. For example, a machine may be designed to stop if a part is not in the correct position, or a fixture may be designed to prevent incorrect part from being inserted, same like a SIM card. Fixed value method. These devices use fixed value to prevent error. For example, a machine may be designed to automatically stop when it has produced a certain number of parts, or tools that may be designed to only fit in the correct position. Motion step method. These devices use a sequence of operation to prevent errors. For example, machines may be designed to only perform certain operation in a specific order, or a tool may be designed to only allow certain sequences to of the movement. Poka-yoke devices are an important part of lean manufacture because they help to prevent defects and improve quality by eliminating errors and reducing the need for rework and inspection. Poka-yoke devices can help to reduce costs and increase efficiency in a production process. Quality assurance and management are essential components of any successful organization that aims to deliver products or services of constantly high quality. Quality assurance involves the process of verifying that product or services meet or exceed customer expectation and meet all relevant standards and regulations. Quality management, on the other hand, refers to the overall strategy and approach to ensure quality is maintained throughout the organization and its processes. So there are several key elements of quality assurance and management. First one is quality planning. This involves defining quality standards, getting goals, and outlining the process needed to achieve these standards. Quality control. This involves monitoring and inspecting products and services to ensure they meet the specific quality standard. Quality improvement. This involves continuous monitoring and evaluation of processes to identify areas for improvement and implementing changes to enhance quality. Quality assurance is involved in ensuring that the processes are followed correctly and that quality standards are constantly met. Training and education. This involves providing employees with the necessary training and education to ensure that they are knowledgeable about quality standards and processes. And lastly, and most importantly, customer satisfaction. This involves understanding customer needs and expectations and incorporating customer feedback into the quality management process. By implementing effective quality assurance and management practices, organization can improve customer satisfaction, reduce costs associated with rework and scrap, and increase efficiency and productivity. Quality assurance and management are integral to achieving long-term success and maintaining a competitive advantage in today's marketplace. Another tools here is a root cause analysis, which a process by which organization brainstorm about the possible cause of a problem and also throughout the structure analysis and data gathering effort gradually narrow the focus to a few root cause. There are some challenges, right? So some processes may not reasonably well understand. For example, some processes are artistic in nature. Some processes may be broken or mismatched to the organization strategy. Some processes cross organization boundaries, which introduce additional challenges. So there are so many challenges exist as well that we need to be aware of. Now, the service processes are different, and we need to understand those. So the services can be different from three dimensions: the nature of the service package, the degree of customization, and level of customer contact. A good examples that we can looking into, for example, your mobile phone, the customer service. How many times did you contact the company? Compare to the place, for example, education. You are in touch with your lecturers, students, or you visit the center or university or institutions more often. So the degree and level of customer contacts are different. And this is the end of this session. And I hope by end of this session you get a good overview of business processes and tools that we can use to be able to improve, to be able to identify the processes, and also the good understanding between production and service processes as well.